Hello and welcome back. Today I am going to tell you how to do examination of cerebellum in a patient. That is how to do cerebellar function test. Along with that, I will also show you clips of some patients suffering from cerebellar diseases. In very simple words, cerebellum is that part of the brain which helps you to do movement in a coordinated, synchronized, smooth and accurate manner. It helps you to maintain your balance and posture. It also helps in calculating how much force or distance is required to do a particular movement. So when we are checking for the cerebellar function, we basically test for these things only. Before examining, you have to do all the prerequisites as I have told in several videos. I have already completed all my prerequisites, so I will straight away start with the examination. You can start your examination from the face or head, followed by upper limb, lower limb, or you can simply follow the mnemonic DRANISH, DRANISH. In this video, I am going to follow this mnemonic DRANISH because it's easy to remember and it covers all the classical signs of cerebellar disease. Starting with D. D stands for Dysdiadochokinesia. This is the inability of the patient to do a rapid alternating movement. So in order to demonstrate dysdiadochokinesia, you have to ask the patient to do this movement very fastly, the rapid alternating movement. बेटा ऐसे हाथ ये वाला हाथ को सीधा ऐसे वेरी गुड चलो अब ये वाले हाथ से इसको ऐसे मारो फिर ऐसे मारो फिर हल्की हल्की मारो ठीक है अब इसको कैसे किस फास्ट फास्ट वेरी गुड so patient is clapping on her palm with the palm of the other hand, then with the back of that same hand. And she's trying to do it as fast as possible. In a patient suffering from cerebellar disease, this movement will not happen in a very coordinated manner. Now, beta, ab dusre haath mein same cheez karo. Check on the other side as well. Very good. Chalo, very good. Bas, okay. Coming to the next point, R stands for rebound phenomenon. So in rebound phenomenon, we check for the braking function of the cerebellum. बेटा अभी तो अपना हाथ को इस तरह से ये वाला हाथ ऐसे ऐसे करके जैसे अपना बाइसेप्स दिखा रहे हो वैसे करना. Ask the patient to flex the elbow as if she's trying to show off her biceps. Now with your one hand, you hold the wrist of the patient and apply a counter force. Explain to the patient that she has to continuously flex her hand against the force applied by you. ठीक है बेटा? So while checking the rebound phenomenon, it's very important to safeguard the patient by keeping your other hand so that she doesn't hit her own face. Very good. Now I have removed my hand suddenly. Since she is a normal patient, she could stop her hand from flying backwards. In case of a patient who is suffering from cerebellar disease, there will be a rebound of the hand. The hand will fly backwards. Since in that process she can hurt herself, that's why we kept her other hand like this. Now coming to the next point in DRANISH, which is A. Now this is very important. A stands for ataxia. Ataxia is the inability of the patient to do a coordinated voluntary movement. So here we check for 4 things. First, truncal ataxia. Second, gait. Third, tandem gait. And fourth, heel-to-shin test. First, in case of truncal ataxia, watch the patient while she is sitting upright. Look for any swaying movement. In case of a cerebellar disease, the patient will not usually be steady and she will lose her balance. Next, observe for the same thing while the patient is standing upright. Ask the patient to stand upright with the feet close together. दोनों पैर को सटा करके खड़े रहो बेटा. सीधा देखो. हाँ, सामने देखना. ठीक है? Now, in a patient who is having cerebellar disease, a patient will not be able to maintain a steady position and the patient will sway to either of the sides, even with the eyes open. This is different from sensory ataxia where the patient sways when the eyes are closed. Romberg test is done in case of sensory ataxia. It is not required in case of a cerebellar ataxia because here the patient can sway even when his eyes are open. Now next point to check after truncal ataxia is gait. Watch patient walking normally. बेटा यहाँ से यहाँ चल के दिखाओ. वापस आ जाओ. A patient who is having a cerebellar disease will be having a wide-based unsteady gait, as you can see in the video clip. The next point in this is to ask the patient to walk in a straight line, that is tandem gait. बेटा अपना एक पैर को दूसरे पैर के आगे ऐसे रख के स्ट्रेट लाइन में चलना, इस लाइन पे, ठीक है, यहाँ से वहां तक स्ट्रेट लाइन पे एक और दूसरे के आगे रख करके चलना। Very good. Since this patient is not having any cerebellar disease, she is able to follow the straight line. If the patient is having a cerebellar disease, the patient won't be able to walk in a straight line without doing any mistake. So next test that you have to do for ataxia is the heel-to-shin test. Heel-to-shin test asks the patient to move the heel of one leg on the shin of the other leg from top to bottom. Very good. Since this patient is not having any cerebellar disease, she can do it comfortably. इस बार भी इधर रीड कर लो, थोड़ा सा और नीचे कर लो. Patient having a cerebellar disease won't be able to do it correctly. Now coming to the next point, which is N. N for nystagmus. Here we look for nystagmus. In cerebellar disease, usually there is a horizontal nystagmus. Ask the patient to keep her head still and then move your hand in an H pattern. Look for any oscillatory movement of the eyes. बेटा यहाँ पे सीधा रखना, ठीक है, और इसको भी देखते हैं, ठीक है. Very good. So as this patient is not having any cerebellar disease, there wasn't any nystagmus, but in case of a cerebellar disease, you can see a nystagmus. Now coming to the next point, that is I. I for intention tremor. Here we will look for intention tremor by doing the finger-nose test and finger-nose-finger test. First, you will have to demonstrate it to the patient to touch her nose with her finger, like this. Beta, अपने हाथ को एक उंगली पर निकालो, अब अपने नाक को छुओ. Very good. Now ask her to do the same movement repeatedly and fastly. अब जल्दी जल्दी करो तो बेटा. Since this patient is not having any cerebellar disease, she can do it easily. To make it a little more complicated, ask her to do the finger-nose-finger test. Here you have to use your own finger and ask the patient to touch your finger and then touch her nose. And then slowly you have to change the position of your finger. Not sure if the patient can do it easily. Right. A patient without cerebellar disease will be able to do it easily, while as you can see in the video clip, a patient having a cerebellar disease won't be able to do it correctly. There will be past pointing, undershooting or overshooting. Now coming to the next point, which is S. S for speech. Here we look for the speech of the patient. A patient having cerebellar disease has a scanning or staccato speech. We usually give a word with a lot of consonants. Patient having a cerebellar disease will not be able to speak it correctly in a very coordinated manner. He or she will break the sound into different syllables of varying pitch. The common words which we usually give is British Constitution. You can give any other word having a lot of consonants in it, like a baby hippopotamus. You can also use a Hindi word like Loktantra. Loktantra bolo. As you can easily hear, the patient is able to speak clearly, as she is of course not suffering from any cerebellar disease. In case of a patient suffering from cerebellar disease, the patient would say like Loktantric. In British Constitution, patient will speak like British Constitution, as if the patient is scanning the whole word. Now coming to the last point, which is H. H for hypotonia. Here we look for the tone of the patient. In case of cerebellar disease, the tone would be decreased. And here I will club the pendular knee jerk along with it, because pendular knee jerk happens because of hypotonia. Look for hypotonia. Very good. Look for passive movements of each joint and feel for any decreased resistance. In case of cerebellar disease, the patient will be having decreased resistance or hypotonia. Very good. So as you can see, this patient is not having pendular knee jerk. In case of a pendular knee jerk, the to and fro movement would happen usually more than 3 times. These are the usual tests that we do in order to check the cerebellar function of a patient. I hope this video was helpful. Thank you.